Good morning, Oak Hill. It is Monday of Holy Week, and I was just going through our reading plan that we are going through together. And one of the things that I said in my sermon yesterday is that we can be looking for the ways that Jesus loved people in the final week of his life. Monday of Holy Week is the Monday before Jesus went to the cross and died for us, and then before the Sunday when he rose again. And so we are anticipating that celebration of those two events and all that they mean to us. They are of first importance to us. So what was he doing in that last week of his life? And it's so interesting as we can look at this through the lens of how did Jesus love people? We can see that his love was not irritable or resentful. We said that yesterday, that love is not irritable or resentful. And we're in Matthew 21:12, and it's Jesus cleansing the temple. Jesus entered the temple and drove out all who sold and bought in the temple, and he overturned the tables of the money changers and the seats of those who sold pigeons. And he said to them, "It is written, my house shall be called a house of prayer, but you make it a den of robbers." And at first we're looking at that saying, that's kind of extreme, Jesus. Like, you're turning over tables, and that seems a little unloving. That seems a little irritable, easily angered. And yet we know that it's not when we really understand what's going on here. Jesus is overturning the tables of those who had turned the worship of God into a money-making activity. He's especially overturning the tables in Matthew is pointing us to the fact of those who oppress the poor by price gouging sacrifices that the poor would need to come to Jerusalem and buy. He says that he specifically points us to the seats of those who sold pigeons. That would have been the offering for somebody who was not wealthy. And so Jesus is loving those who are marginalized and oppressed by tearing down the system that oppressed them. And he's calling them back to what they truly need, to seek the Lord in prayer. And we know this because he continues in verse 14, the blind and the lame came to him in the temple, and he healed them. But when the chief priests and scribes saw the wonderful things that he did, and the children crying out in the temple, "Hosanna to the Son of David," they were indignant. And they said to him, "Do you hear what these are saying?" And Jesus said, "Yes. Have you never read, out of the mouth of infants and nursing babies you have prepared praise?" And leaving them, he went out of the city to Bethany, and he lodged there. And we see that Jesus, where people were oppressing those who were unlovable in that society, Jesus loved them. He loved them so much to protect them from those who would hurt them. He loved them so much to, instead of oppressing them, to reach out to them and to heal their diseases and to take care of them. He cared for their physical needs. He cared for their spiritual needs. We see he healed them, and he also called them to prayer. And he promoted their praise. And so today, how can we respond to this Savior? We can know, first of all, that we have been loved, that our greatest needs are met in him. We can know that he wants us to cry out to him in prayer. And we can follow in his footsteps by taking care of others, and by even working hard for their dignity and for their rights. Let's love like Jesus loved, church. You are loved.